I just I just did 2 video takes of this in silence, and I thought this time I would actually give a little bit of a commentary about this particular piece. This is of course still in the Khaos series, and this one I have to admit that it it took a lot out of me. Most of the painting was actually completed in a very short time, but I struggled a lot with this particular piece more than the others. I thought the ones before were really difficult, but this one was actually really hard. And not, but it was all actually towards the finishing part of the painting that I had a really difficult time. I'm just going to scan through this kind of quickly, but the really difficult part was actually the finishing part, and I struggled with it. I think I labored over the top part of this, the top portion. I'm going to go back up to the top. I labored over this entire section. I think I repainted this 5 or 6 times. I mean, I spent days trying to like going over it. I mean, there's a lot of layers underneath what you see here, but this was extremely difficult. It was almost like this dividing line, like right in the center. Anything that went above this datum line was extremely difficult. I'll try to point it out here. Was actually this particular line. Anything above this particular line, I really had a hard time getting it right, per se. I mean, I was at a point where I was going to rip this whole thing apart, because I was just not getting it to work. It wasn't working out at all. And the thing about these particular paintings, like they're landscape expressionist, but the thing is that with my paintings in this series, I have a horizon line, and the horizon line, I have to distinguish how far up or how far down it is. Actually, the body or the content or the landscape part of it was all working out really well. I actually really like this part here, the way the colors kind of mesh together, and then I like this this sort of gestural area. This is quite new, just to let you know. But I like this kind of waterfall type of landscape and the swirly actions that are going on. Of course, there's quite a lot of red in the painting because of the protests that are going on. But I didn't want it to be about the protests. I wanted the protests that are going on to influence. I mean, it influences my work and the colors and the way I approach the canvas. So anyway, the part at the bottom came relatively easily. It was actually really fun painting all these areas around here and the colors and up. Okay, you notice this little, I'm going to try to point it out, this little swish here. This is kind of a new thing. It's done with a larger brush versus the other ones that you see here. These are with a small brush, but this is a large brush. So I might experiment with this kind of gestural movement later on, like more in my future work. But this is the only area where you'll see this little swirl things with a little bit of a calligraphic kind of stroke there. So that's kind of new, and like this little area, like I said, is kind of new. I really like the way this is coming together. And so the bottom part, yeah, this is kind of new too, this kind of new swirly action. This to me is sort of like almost like drip painting, where you'll see this drip painting thing going on here. So I'm a little bit of a painter's snob because I see a lot of work that is sort of like just drip painting. It's drip painting and it's just swirling. I'm sorry, I don't think that's going far enough. You have to push it further. So this is really kind of the start of it. It has to have some kind of sense. It's not just random acts of paint's being splashed onto the canvas. I think, yes, it's artistic, it's got, you know, it's got colors, it's got a palette, but to me, I don't think, when I see this kind of work, there's just this kind of work on YouTube, I just go, okay, well, that's good. But it's not going far enough. I have to, you know, when I do my work now, I'm looking for something that's going beyond what is complete randomness. I think there has to be some kind of structure. That's my name. There has to be kind of some structure to it, but then it has to have some randomness, and so this I think has both. So when I see something going on too tight and too rigid, I cover it up. And then if it's going too random, I know what happens when it goes too random. It just turns gray, and then I don't think, you know, it's like when you listen to music, you can tell when someone's not playing the notes. You know, there are random parts, but then there are parts where there's cohesiveness. So I actually use the music, like music is a good example to follow by, whereby you know, there's got to be both in it. If there's no freedom in the music, then everything is too stiff and too stifled. Same way with painting. So so anyway, this so this is what I'm trying to achieve with my own work. And when I see it going too random, too carefree, it just goes all over the place, and it does end up looking like mud and like a patch of gray. So so anyway, this has probably gone on too long right now, but I'll pull back and let you to show you what it looks like as a whole. It's very similar to the previous paintings I've done, in the same kind of language. As my friend said, he said was kind of, my work is beginning to look iconic. Thank you. So anyway, I haven't given this a title, but it is in the Khaos series. Khaos is spelled K-H-A-O-S because of what's going on in Hong Kong right now. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little commentary on my work. So I'm going to post this onto my YouTube because it's a rather long video. I'm not going to just put it onto Facebook, but I'll put it onto YouTube and then I'll link it onto Facebook. So hey, if you have a suggestion for what this could be titled, it has to have the word chaos in it. Just put it down in the comments below, and maybe I'll choose your title. So anyway, that's it for now. Enjoy.